Vikings fans, this late-season surge comes with a dangerous twist nobody can ignore. A simplified approach delivered results, momentum, and belief, but it may have robbed Minnesota of flexibility when it matters most. Winning now feels good, yet it complicates tomorrow in ways that could linger for years. The final games are no longer meaningless. They are auditions, stress tests, and philosophical battles rolled into 60 minutes. Coaching pride, player development, and draft reality are all crashing together at once. There is no easy answer, only risk. Stay tuned closely, because every call matters from here on out. Smash like, subscribe, and don't miss what happens next, for the future of Minnesota Vikings football, starting now this season, matters always. Kevin O'Connell is the man I want to talk about right now, because even though J.J. McCarthy's stat line is what jumps off the screen, this entire situation rests squarely on the shoulders of the Vikings head coach. I watched that 31-0 demolition of the Washington Commanders, and yes, I saw progress from McCarthy, real progress, the kind that had been missing for weeks. But I also saw a philosophical crossroads for O'Connell, one that could define not only McCarthy's future, but the direction of this franchise heading into 2026. And make no mistake about it, Vikings fans, this is not a small decision we're talking about here. Let's start with the obvious. J.J. McCarthy finally delivered a clean football game. 16 completions on 23 attempts, 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, and a passer rating north of 129. That matters. That absolutely matters, especially for a 22-year-old quarterback who came into Week 14 with one of the worst QBRs in the entire league. For the first time all season, the Vikings sustained drives, controlled tempo, and played offense like a team that actually knew who it was. But here's the catch, and you knew it was coming. This didn't happen by accident. It happened because Kevin O'Connell stripped the offense down to its bare bones. Now I hear Aaron Jones calling the game plan vanilla, and he's not wrong. This was a simplified offense, fewer reads, fewer moving parts, less mental strain on a young quarterback who had been drowning under the weight of complexity. And guess what? It worked. The Vikings marched 61 yards on their opening drive and then followed it up with a soul-crushing 19-play, 98-yard touchdown drive. That's grown-man football. That's patience. That's discipline. That's McCarthy converting 3rd and long over and over again, including a beautiful 21-yard strike to Jordan Addison on 3rd and 8. Those are weighty downs, and McCarthy showed some guts. But here's where Kevin O'Connell has to look himself in the mirror. That win, as impressive as it felt, may have just cost the Vikings a top 10 draft pick. ESPN Analytics now has Minnesota sitting at number 11, with less than a coin flip chance of clawing their way back into the top tier. That pick mattered. That pick was leverage. That pick was insurance in case McCarthy continued to flounder. Instead, O'Connell chose development over draft position, progress over positioning, and that tells me something about how much he still believes in his quarterback. Yet belief alone isn't enough in this league. The Vikings have less than a 1% chance of making the postseason. These games are auditions, nothing more, nothing less. And McCarthy's audition isn't just about whether he can manage a simplified offense against bad teams. It's about whether he can eventually run the same demanding system that once elevated Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold into playoff relevance. O'Connell didn't build his reputation on conservative football. He built it on explosive plays, layered concepts, and quarterbacks who could process at a high level. So the question is whether McCarthy can win playing it safe. The question is whether O'Connell is willing to push him again. And that's where the risk comes in. Do you keep the training wheels on and protect McCarthy's confidence, even if it limits the offense's ceiling? Or do you throw him back into the deep end over the final 4 games and see if he sinks or swims? Because if J.J. McCarthy is going to have job security in 2026, he can't just be efficient. He has to be functional in the real version of this offense. He has to prove that Sunday wasn't a mirage, but a foundation. Kevin O'Connell has to decide whether this young quarterback is ready for truth or still needs shelter. So let me ask you this, Vikings fans. Should Kevin O'Connell stick with the simplified formula that just delivered a blowout, or should he challenge J.J. McCarthy by reopening the full playbook and letting the results fall where they may? Let me know what you think. And if you want more bold, honest Vikings talk, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay engaged, because this season may be lost, but the future is being written right now.